So when I used to listen to a lot of vinyl, when it was the only way to listen to records, being someone who is a fan of albums, I would listen to albums, and it was always the first song on side A and the first song on side B that mattered. Those were the singles. Those were the ones that sounded the best. Why is that? Why does it sound better at the beginning versus at the very end when the circle's a little bit smaller?
There's a handful of reasons. I mean, first of all, when vinyl was the format, these records were sequenced with that in mind. So the first or second or maybe third song were the singles, and then the slow ballads or the quieter songs were on the inside. And that's because as you get towards the inside of the record, and we'll kind of simplify this, but there's always more distortion and there's a high frequency roll off that gets pretty drastic.
So it's for two reasons. The linear velocity shrinks. So on a circle, if you're on the outside, you're going this fast. If you're inside, you're going this fast.
Yeah.
Right. So slower.
And covering half the space.
And then also the angle of the turn of the tone arm to the groove as you get toward the middle. That at the beginning, your needle's sitting right in the middle of the groove, but you get to the end, it's twisted a little bit. Yeah. So there's more distortion because of that, because the needle's not riding directly in the middle of the groove.
It's not tracking properly. Yeah.
And as you get to the last maybe inch or so, it starts to get really noticeable. It's not so bad up till then. So that's why the first three songs.
Yep.
Oftentimes, like you said, the first song would be the single because that's where it's really, it's going, it's moving the fastest. It's really really perpendicular, and it sounds amazing. So I mean, there's
oftentimes better than the digital.
And there are old stories of back in people talk about the loudness wars in digital, but they existed in vinyl too. And they would, if that single was the first song on the side, they would crank that shit up so loud, and you could even see it. The first song would take up half the space because they're trying to make the loudest thing to play on the radio, and then they kind of turned it down for the rest of them.